Suspended near the top of Taipei, 101 is a colossal steel sphere, weighing up to 660 tons. It hangs from dozens of dense cable bundles, and it can swing as far as 1.5 meters. But do not let its appearance fool you. This sphere is not there to keep the building perfectly still. It moves because the building itself is moving, and that is not a design flaw. In truth, the world's greatest skyscrapers were not built to stand motionless. They were designed to sway with the wind. But think about it. If movement looks like a sign of instability, why would engineers actively allow it to happen? Are we living inside structures that are swaying on the edge of collapse? Welcome to Everyday Things Explained. When rigid is the mistake. We often assume the sturdier a building is, the more still it stands, the safer it must be. That is the biggest misconception in high-rise construction. If you try to build a rigid skyscraper to fight the wind head-on, that building will soon become a pile of rubble. Why? Look at history. In 1973, the John Hancock Tower in Boston was completed with an ambition for absolute stability. But as soon as strong winds struck, engineers were horrified to realize the building was shaking violently. So violently that glass panels weighing hundreds of kilograms tore loose and fell like rain onto the streets below. That lesson changed construction completely. A building must never fight the wind. It must move with the wind. If it cannot deform in a controlled way, the structure will be torn apart by its own weight. The resonance trap. But how does a building know when to sway? And why does it shake in rhythm? Imagine you are pushing a swing. You do not need tremendous force. You only need to push at the right rhythm. That is resonance. Wind hundreds of meters above the ground does not blow evenly. It creates alternating streams of air that strike both sides of the building. If the frequency of these wind streams matches the tower's natural vibration frequency, the shaking will amplify many times over. To deal with this, engineers must do two things. 1. Change the building's shape, rounded corners, grooves, to break up the airflow, preventing it from forming resonant pulses. And 2. Install a damper inside the tower. The heart of the tower. This is the tuned mass damper, TMD, the adjusted mass damping system. The idea had actually begun to emerge in 1909, when engineer Hermann Frahm patented auxiliary masses to stabilize ships. But only when we brought it to skyscraping heights did it truly become legendary. Look at the 660-ton sphere inside Taipei, 101. The most important word here is not mass, but tuned, precisely adjusted. The sphere's frequency must be tuned with absolute precision to the building's rhythm of vibration. Its power does not exist only on blueprints. In 2015, when Super Typhoon Soudelor made landfall, this sphere swung powerfully right before visitors' eyes. People did not panic. On the contrary, they cheered because they were watching the swinging sphere save the entire building. That is the clearest living proof. A TMD does not simply keep a building still, it is a living shield, constantly absorbing and neutralizing the energy of nature. Designed to survive. So, does standing still mean being safe? Not exactly. The safety of these giants does not come from rigidity but from an extremely refined ability to move. When you stand high above and look down at the silent city, deep beneath you, steel bodyguards are still working without rest. But is it only buildings? Have you ever wondered why there are always strange gaps between railway bridge spans? The answer will come in the next episode of Everyday Things Explained. Do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss it.